He said his vibe was a little terrible. Cat said his vibe was a little terrible. And that's putting it lightly. His vibe was a little terrible. Cat said his vibe was a little terrible. His vibe was a little bit terrible, and that's what he said, and that's putting it lightly. His vibe was a little bit terrible. Cat said his vibe was a little bit terrible. He said that. His vibe was terrible, and that's putting it lightly. Here I am just fucking around. Look at you there, all that shit to do. Humidity affecting you do. And I got nothing to do. I'm just fucking around doing a SuppleOwl. I've been doing it for a while and it's nothing new. It's not good. It's not, at least it's true. A lot of it. Anyway, some of it's a character. What does anybody care? I got 15 followers. Nobody's listening anyway. A couple of people, and they're cool. You know, they'll stay maybe if I don't jump the shark or have a lark or a cutty sark. 3 of those, boy, you'll be in the dark. I had one of those once. I'd seen it in a movie. It tasted like crap. I don't know what the hell I was even doing. Cutty and water. It's fucking gross. That's a grandpa drink and a grandpa song and your grandpa knew all along. He saw it back in the day, the guys that came back from the war and here and there. Try not to drink that stuff. Try not to stare. Wild turkey. It's in the cupboard and that's been bare for a long time. It's in there just for mental despair. Try not to drink that brown liquor, he said. Makes people crazy. More and more that I see. That's good advice for me. Episode TIs for your late morning commute. I don't mean late morning as 11 a.m. when the jazz musicians wake up, but rather as in you're always late because of the state of the T. Train cars burn on the tracks going over the river, but wouldn't you look better with some googly eyes on the train, you know? Train's delayed at Harvard for 5 hours, but wouldn't you feel better if it showed up with big googly eyes on it, you know? Maybe with those headlight eyelashes that you can get for your girlfriend over at Lappin's Discount Auto, you know, for her Corolla. And why not? Why not antlers for Christmas, you know? Like the soccer moms put on their minivans, you know? You see the Honda Pilot come through with the antlers on it and the little nose on the front like Rudolph. Antlers and a Rudolph nose for the festive spirit. Wouldn't that make your shitty tea experience just that much better? At least slightly less shitty for the holiday season because the train showed up with antlers and googly eyes. Oh joy, T. Thanks so much for your help, you know? Maybe you could have clowns on the inside, you know? Maybe you go in, there's a guy juggling, you know? Just to lighten the spirit for your commute, you know? Because you need it. This is a disaster, you know? Maybe a coffee machine. Maybe there's a Keurig. You can get some watered down fake coffee on the T while you're there. What's it going to cost them? Won't cost them anything. Katie Couric doesn't make any of that money. You know what I mean? She's still living off of Regis's residuals. You know what I'm talking about? So maybe they could have stuff like that. Maybe individual little like screens can come down and you can watch like Ace of Cakes or Housewives of Atlanta, you know, or the Real Housewives of Atlanta, which frankly, as far as the Housewives of Atlanta experience, you really get the Real Housewives of Atlanta, because they were actually Real Housewives. If you go with the fake one, they're really just actresses from LA that wanted to get into the real scene, you know, the real this, the real that, the wedding ones with the flower, and you give her the rose, and then they divorced in a half a year, but they get the residuals. That's where it's at. Divorce is all about residuals. Everyone will tell you that. That's where it's at. I like the Montanas, you know, get out there, see the world. The North Dakotas are nice too, you know, bring a girl. It's alright, just don't talk about politics and eat the food, have the corn, you know, on the cob and off, whatever, however they offer it. It's a big deal out there. If you don't eat it, they're offended, you know, so you gotta eat the corn, however they give it to you in a pie or in the sky or on a stick. That's a good way, just don't lick it, give you cancer. But you go ahead and eat it, it's all good. If you go far enough down south, maybe they'll put that cool cheese on like they do down in Texas, you know, because it's kind of a Mexican thing with the spices and that kind of mayonnaise-y cheese. What I hear is pretty good. I've actually never had it. Corn on the cob is a rough thing. I don't know, did your folks ever do this? I had grandparents that they would cut all the kernels down the line. You'd take the corn on the cob and you'd slice all the kernels in a row and then butter it. And I don't know if it was to keep the corn from getting stuck in your teeth or if it was to get more butter into the corn. Because let's face it, corn on the cob is really just a butter delivery system. What else are you eating it for? It's a fuel. To take the corn, make it into fuel, and run your race cars on it. Other than that, what is corn for? It's for butter. How you gonna eat your butter? I don't know, slather on some corn and eat that shit. Because that's how you get your butter in. And that's what it's all about. Corn on the cob, it's pretty good. Stuck in your teeth, you gotta floss 5 times. But at least you're able to eat half a stick of butter, and no one gives you any shit for it, because you put it on corn, and corn is healthy. You get your vegetables, man. You get your vegetables, and you put as much butter on them as you can. That's the fucking name of the game. Butter, baby. Butter, your corn, baby. As much as you can. Whack amateurs, block armatures, but they're amateurs, and they're certainly crazier than they're letting on. They have you fooled because you think they're getting better. People don't get better. They get a sweater. They look different. They dress different. They talk different, but they're the same under there. No difference. He came at me the other night, right on my shoulder, man. I never saw anything coming. You gotta be fucking careful, man, because if he's as crazy as he seems like he is, and I know he's fooling you guys, you don't see it, he seems like he's better, whatever. He's wearing a sweater, I get it, you know, but that's still a crazy motherfucker, man, and don't let that guy think that he's a swan, he's a duck or something, man, because he's not cool, he's not hip, he's not better, he's not anything more than just wearing a sweater. you know, he came at me over my shoulder, and he's like, hey, you never texted me back after I asked you to play the session. You didn't want to play because not only do you not like my playing, but it makes you look bad because you went to play with me. And of course, someone's going to put it on Facebook that you went to this session, and there you are with the other sweater-wearing whack amateurs, and you're just like, look, man, I can't really be a part of this. I'm just holding on here, you know, and it doesn't do anything good for me to see that I'm with the sweater guy, and I just can't do it, you know, not to mention the fact that you've been this way before. You've been aggressive to me before. You said a 3-line text that I'm better and I'm cool, and you know what, we should hang out and play pool or whatever, but really, we're not talking about pool, it's a music thing. But seriously, I'm trying to rhyme with the thing, and that's how it goes, and I don't wear a sweater. So the guy's like, look, you didn't get back to me. Of course I didn't get back to you. What am I going to say? No, I don't want to fucking play with you. I'm trying not to be a jerk, and you don't want to get the point because you don't want to work. You don't want to read in. You don't want to read anything. You don't want to see what's going on. You want to lead with anyone. So you're gonna not get the point, and now I have to answer for it 4 months later. So here we are, and you've come over my shoulder and you've said, hey, you didn't do that thing. You didn't get back to me. No, I didn't, you know, but in that moment I thought, let me be genuine with the guy. Let me be cool. Let me say it as it is. You know, I should have got back to you. I should have done that thing. You know, and I apologize for not doing that, and I said it. I said the thing. He comes back with, well, you see, now I just can't even tell if you're being sarcastic or not. And I fucking wasn't, I swear. Guys, what do you want from me? I was being genuine. I should have responded. I should have said, no, I don't want to play with you. But I left it, and that's on me, right? So I said, hey, you know, that's right, I should have responded. I didn't say that I was going to say, no, I don't want to play from you, let alone ever hear from you again. I just left it at that, right? I thought that was the smart answer at the time, but here we are at the bar, and I got this guy on my shoulder, and he's wearing a sweater, and it's getting scarier and scarier by the letter. I don't know, what do I say to you? What I say to him? Why would you hang out? Why would you interact with someone that you can't tell if they're being serious or sarcastic? And even when I'm being serious, you think I'm being sarcastic because you know what? You know you're in the wrong for coming over my shoulder. So don't do that again. And I don't want to hear from you ever again. He said his vibe was a little terrible. Cat said his vibe was a little terrible. And that's putting it lightly. His vibe was a little terrible. Cat said his vibe was a little terrible. His vibe was a little bit terrible, and that's putting it lightly. His vibe was a little bit terrible. Cat said his vibe was a little bit terrible. He said that. His vibe was terrible, and that's putting it lightly.